Yaks. Tibet's best-kept secret. For centuries, people in the Himalayas have kept domesticated yaks and have used their yaki fibers to weave soft, warm, breathable, antimicrobial clothing. Yak wool still isn't very common in the West, but it's starting to catch on as an alternative to cashmere, as it's close to the same softness and a bit more sustainable. Apparently those cashmere goats really tear up the grasslands where they live. Now, Oliver Charles uses yak wool in their all-season crewneck sweater. They have lots of other styles available as well, which they sent to me to check out. I've been a natural fiber wool convert for a long time. We think of wool as being really hot and heavy and scratchy, but kind of counterintuitively, wool is fantastic as a thermoregulating fabric, moisture-wicking fabric. I use wool blend socks every single day in my very strenuous construction job. They keep my feet warm in the winter when it's cold and cool in the summer when it's hot. They're fantastic, pretty much unbeatable compared to any other unnatural or synthetic fiber. Wool is also great for layering, and living in the Pacific Northwest, I know a lot about layering. On a typical fall day, it could be 32 degrees in the morning, and then at noon it could be 42 degrees with a light drizzle, and then in the early evening it could be 56 degrees and sunny. So I have lots of different sweaters made up of lots of different fibers, merino wool, cotton. I don't really have any cashmere sweaters, that's getting a little spendy, but I had never had a yak wool sweater until now. The Oliver Charles all-season crewneck. This is the little tote bag that came with it. They sent me this sweater to check out and to tell you about, to give you my experiences. This sweater is $250, so not cheap. It's unisex and available in several different colors. There's a charcoal, an undyed, a navy blue, an emerald blue, sage green like this, and a light gray. This sweater is machine washable, which is really nice. I don't wash my sweaters very often anyway, if they are wool sweaters, because usually you don't have to wash wool very much unless they get very dirty. But if you do have to wash it, you can wash it in the machine. It is a blend of 75% merino wool and 25% yak wool. Those yaki fibers that we were talking about. It's similar in softness to cashmere. Like I said, I don't own any cashmere sweaters. I do have a scarf and a couple hats. Maybe we'll compare the softness of those to this sweater. But it's also anti-wrinkle and anti-shrink. This being the all-season sweater, it's pretty light, very breathable. I was wearing this out on around a 70-degree day. That's probably as hot as I would go with a sweater like this. You can wear it, I would say it's a 3-season sweater. If it's the height of summer and it's really hot, you probably don't want to be wearing this. But for spring, fall, and winter, I think it's just great. And it's made in Brooklyn, in the USA, using 3D knitting technology. We'll talk a little bit more about that in a minute. So some of the benefits of yak wool. It is antimicrobial, so it doesn't hold odors in the fibers. That's very nice, very useful, especially if you're using it as a base layer or something like that, or for socks, which I often do, not yak wool in particular, but just wool. It's machine washable, like we mentioned. It's very soft. I'm wearing this just against my skin. I don't have any t-shirt on underneath this, and it's perfectly comfortable. Of course, I'm not really the best judge of that, because I could probably wear one of those hair shirts that penitents wore in the Middle Ages and be totally fine. I don't really care about being uncomfortable, but this sweater is not uncomfortable. It's nicely insulating. Yaks live in very cold climates, so if you do need a sweater for layering to keep you warm, this will work. And I think it just looks pretty damn good. But what is 3D knitting technology? This is interesting stuff. I have some notes here. It is seamless. Basically, it's kind of like a computer-aided drafting program where they have the design of the sweater and they can throw it in this 3D knitting machine and seamlessly create this entire sweater. There's some interesting videos on the Oliver Charles website that you should check out. And there's zero waste, or almost no waste. I think about 99% of the material actually goes into the sweater because it's being knitted as it is made. They're not creating, big rectangles of fabric and then cutting them out and knitting them together at the seams or sewing them together. That also means it's really durable because there aren't any seams. There are no seams on this sweater. If I show you the side, there's no side seam. There's no seam there, no seam in the back. There's no seam holding the crew neck collar onto the main part of the sweater. It's all one piece of fabric, which is kind of cool and should mean that it'll last a lot longer. But even if anything does go wrong, if you get a hole, if you get snags, Oliver Charles has a lifetime guarantee. You can send the sweater back to them and they will fix it. The other cool thing is they don't have to hold any inventory. When you order the sweater, they make the sweater and they send it to you. So I thought that was pretty cool too. Now, is it really as soft as cashmere? I have this cashmere knitted cap and I have this cashmere scarf. These are the only two articles of cashmere I think I have in my wardrobe. If I feel both of these, I would say this feels more like merino wool than it does feel like cashmere. And obviously this is 75% merino wool. This is extremely soft, really soft. And then this scarf as well, yeah. Maybe the yak fibers by themselves are as soft as cashmere, but in this blend of 75% merino and 25% yak wool, I would say that these cashmere articles are definitely a lot softer. I think this one might be a blend too. I think this one is 100% cashmere, and my God, that is soft. Again though, if you like merino wool, this is softer feeling than merino, but not as soft as the cashmere. Is this smelly? I don't really smell bad. I know you may not believe that, but I'm not really a smelly person, really, at all. This just smells like wool. It smells good. It's not very animal-y, yacky, but nor does it smell like my body. And I've worn this, I don't know, probably 8 or 9 different times, and I haven't washed it yet. But again, like I said, I'm not a super stinky person. I can wear socks all day at work, even non-wool socks. I can sweat them out like crazy, and when I take my shoes off at the end of the day, they don't really stink. Maybe it's a superpower, I don't know, but I'm not smelly. So I'm not the best judge as to whether or not the sweater is really anti-odor like they claim, but in my experience and from what I've read, wool in general is very good at keeping down those body odors. All in all, I am very impressed with this sweater. I really like the fit. I like how it looks. I like this color in particular, the sage green. I love the fact that it's made without seams. It just feels really form-fitting in an interesting way. There's nowhere that it bunches up. It just drapes on the body really nicely. It is expensive. $250 is pretty expensive. But if you think about it in terms of value for money, if it is as durable as they say, and they do back it up with a lifetime guarantee, you could have this for a lifetime, potentially. So maybe that evens out the cost. I really think it's fascinating. I'm really interested in this whole yak wool thing. I just like the idea of that. I really am interested in the 3D printing technology. I really like, most importantly, how the sweater fits and looks and just feels on. And I think it's a really versatile piece to have in your wardrobe. If you're looking for a lighter all-season sweater, I think you could check out Oliver Charles. I'd like to thank Oliver Charles once again for sending me this wool sweater to try. I was not paid for this review, but I did receive this sweater for free. So there you have it. The Oliver Charles all-season crew neck yak wool sweater. Thanks so much for watching. I've been your good friend Bradley. You've been the audience. This has been Stuff and Things. I'll see you later. Now go out there, find a yak, comb through its belly fur, collect the fibers, weave those fibers into a soft, sustainable, breathable, anti-odor sweater. Or you could order one from olivercharles.com. I'll see you later.